Now what we will do, we are going to create the server and we will be reading and writing the file content using Node.js. So just say in our application, we are having large text file which we have to read and send it to the client. For that, we are having many possible solutions. One by one, we are going to see all the solution. And first solution is very basic one using our FS module. In that, we will use read file for reading the content, write file for writing the content. Inside this folder, I have created one file read1.txt inside which I am having more than 2000 lines. So just imagine this entire content has to be read and sent to the client. One by one, we will see all the solution and also we will understand which is the best solution to perform this operation. First, inside this HTTP, I will be creating the file. Okay, reading and writing the file using our FS module. So first, I'm just going to require FS module. FS is equal to require, and inside this, I will be passing node prefix. I will be passing FS module. Second, I have to access HTTP module require. Inside this, I will be passing node HTTP. First, we are going to create our server. So what we have to do on this HTTP, we are having this create server method. Inside this, we will be passing callback function. Inside callback, we will pass these two arguments, request and response. And this entire value we will assign to the variable server. And inside this, we will be passing the response. And once server is created, we have to listen for the incoming request. So here I will be writing listen. Port number I will give 5000. And now I'm not going to specify localhost. As I mentioned, it is optional. If you want, you can specify. Then I will be passing this optional callback function. Inside string, I will write server is listening to port 5000. I will open terminal and I'm just going to execute this file read write file.js. Hit enter. Inside this, I have given localhost colon 5000. As soon as I hit enter, I will be getting the response. Now, in place of this text, whatever data I am having inside this read1.txt, entire thing has to be sent as response to the client. I will remove this. I'm just going to access my FS module. On that, we will access this read file. Inside this, I will specify the file path from where I have to read the content. I will write read1.txt. Okay, FS module we have already understood. Second, we have to specify encoding. Here I will be writing UTF-8. And then third, we have to specify the callback function inside which first we will be passing error and second we will be passing the data which we are having inside this file. Inside this, we will check if we are having any error. Here, inside this log, I simply want to display error. If I am not having any error, then inside this response, I'm just going to send entire data of the client. Okay, very simple. Whatever data I'm having inside the file, that entire thing I'm sending as the response. So using this read file, in asynchronous way, I am reading the file content and whatever data I am having, I am encoding that so that I get human readable format. And then inside this callback function, I will pass error and data as its argument. And inside this data, I will have entire content of this file. Now I will save, open this, I will exit, run this application, come here. Now, as soon as I refresh, you can see whatever content I am having inside the file, entire thing is read and that will be sent as a response to client. Now I will be showing you one more simple trick, and in our previous lecture I have mentioned whenever request is made, behind the scene event will be fired. Now I will tell you what event is fired. This entire thing I will comment, and here instead of writing this we can follow this trick. Here I will be writing server, and from this HTTP module I am just accessing this create server. In this way you can access this create server method. Now what I will do, instead of passing this entire callback function inside this create server, on this server I am just going to listen for the event. Here I will write server dot on. This is how, using on method, we are going to listen for the event. Inside this, what event I have to listen? I have to listen for request event. Whenever request is made, only then this callback function has to be executed. And second, I will be passing callback function, and that callback function will be exactly same as this one. Copy, and here I will be pasting. Before that, I will uncomment, copy this entire callback function. Now I will comment, and here I am going to paste. Okay, whenever request is made, this request event will be fired. Once this request event is fired, this entire callback function will be executed. Now I will save, open this, I will exit, run this application. Again, if I refresh, you can see I am going to have the same response. In response, I will not be having any change, but in this way, you can easily listen for the request. This code is more readable compared to this one. Here we are telling whenever a request event is fired, this callback function has to be executed. Okay, successfully we are able to read the contents. Now we will see how to write contents to file. Below this, I will be writing files, writing content to file. For that, I will copy. Here I will comment, and below this I am going to paste. Remove this entire thing. If I am having any error, that error I am just going to display in console. And what I will do, I will just do this response.end. Inside this, I will write error reading contents of file. And finally, I am just going to do return. And inside this if block, if I am writing multiple lines of code, then I should be using these blocks. If I am having any error, then I will log this error message, and also I will be sending this response to the client. But if I am not having any error, below this I will be writing the contents to file. For that, fs.write file. Inside this, I am just going to pass path of the file on which I have to write the content. I will write read2.txt, and this file is not created. If it is not created, before writing the content, first it will create the file and then contents will be added. And second, I will be passing the data what I have to write in the file. An entire read1.txt content is present inside this data, so I will be passing data. Then third, I will be passing callback function, in which we are simply passing this error. I will write here write error. And if I am having any error, again same thing, I will copy. Inside this I will be pasting. Okay, very simple. Whenever this request event is fired, this entire callback function will be called. Inside that, first I am reading the content of the file, and if I am having any error, I will send that response to the client. If everything is fine, whatever content I am having inside this read1.txt, entire content I am writing inside this read2.txt. After doing this, I just have to send response to the client. First, I will write here log. Inside this, I will write data successfully written. Below this, I will be sending response end, and here I will write file content processed and returned to the file. I hope you understood. Once entire thing is done, this response I will be sending to the client and read2.txt will be created. Inside that, whatever data I am having inside this read1.txt, entire thing will be written. Now I will open terminal. Before that, if I just refresh this, nothing happens. I have made some changes, so I'm just going to restart my application. Now server is listening to this port. I will come here, refresh this. Now I am having file content are processed and returned to file, and in my terminal I am having data successfully written. I will just open this. Now you can see read2.txt is created, and whatever content I am having inside read1.txt, entire thing will be written inside this file. I hope you understood how to write and read the data using this FS module. Okay, this solution is working fine. Successfully, we are able to read the data as well as we are able to write the contents inside the file. But now imagine if we are having 10,000 lines, then definitely we cannot apply the solution. And for this also, we are having 2000 lines. We cannot use this solution and we cannot use simple read file and write file. So using this method, what happens? Entire data is going to store inside the temporary memory, and when we are reading, it is just going to do a single paste. So using this, what it will do, it is just going to occupy entire storage, and also it is going to reduce optimization. If we are having large volume of data, then reading the file and writing the file in this way is a very bad practice. And why this is problem? First problem, it is just going to occupy entire storage. And second, if we are having this kind of big file and if there are tons of requests hitting our server, then what happens? Node will process very quickly and it is just going to run out of the resources. And that time our app will not work. It is completely going to crash. This solution is fine if you're just creating something locally for yourself. But in production, we are not going to write this kind of code because at one point, if we are having multiple requests, then definitely application will be crashed. So next, we are going to see one more solution of reading and writing the file, and that is using streams.